I'm Cynthia.
And I'm Chris.
And we're the Hanier Family.
And for those of you who are new here, welcome. Let's enjoy some great music together.
Yeah, so what do we got today for our Goonies?
Well, today we are going to do a bit more of Cold Chisel.
Yeah.
Now, this is having to do with our Days of the Week thing that we've been doing.
Yeah.
This one's called Saturday Night.
Yeah.
We have, I think, 7 people asking for this. Once was our Strathfield, Desi, Sean, the other one. Now, with Sean, he wanted us to do Ghost Town as well, but that would make an extra long video, and right now our computer's not ready for that.
Yeah, we're just going to stick with Saturday Night for today.
Yeah. we're keeping them small just so we can actually put them up, you know?
Yes.
So, anyway, as I will continue, Caitlin Batt, Tim Kyle, Craig Alden, and Volume 11.
All right. We do like some Cold Chisel. Quite a few songs we know of theirs now.
We do.
Yeah.
Quite a few. So we're definitely interested in this one, and so glad that we have something that coincides with our Days of the Week thing.
Yes.
So let's get into it. This is Cold Chisel with Saturday Night.
With John Henry through till 1 o'clock, and then Chris Hume is here to take you through the early hours of tomorrow morning. It's 8 to 12, and got some Elton John for you right after this.
Saturday night. 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 Already old, walking into Sunday, and I find all desires are cold. I could walk forever, I don't mind. Show me a light, your company goes a little way to help me see the path on which I'm bound, rather than the things I leave behind. Got the keys to the city, baby. I can feel my luck. I got today's money. If you lock me up, this heart will shine. It will be ours forevermore. Words we both recall, either from a lover or the law. Saturday night, my steps have shown I can walk away from all I've known. Good night, my friend, goodbye. Remember what they say when you're alone. Laugh or die.
So what do you think of this one so far?
It's interesting for sure.
It's very different the way they did it.
Yeah, I like how Ian Moss and Jimmy Barnes trade off
Yeah.
lyrically, you know?
I find it's very strange. They took a while to actually get into the song. You know, like
Yeah. And when the chorus hits, it's really hard.
Yeah.
Really good.
when it first started, it took a very long time. It just had the rhythm going.
Yeah. You
the
tell me a
beat
story,
going,
right?
And then you're seeing through the streets all these different venues and stuff that people are going to because it's Saturday. And then you see the harsh parts of the city a little bit too.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's your typical thing to see on a Saturday.
Yeah.
On a
For
Saturday
sure.
night.
Yeah. More
And
of a
then-
marketplace situation, right?
Yeah. And I'm sure like people from any big city can relate because we've seen people like that in Toronto too. Like the same kind of thing where, you know, you got your okay crowd that are all having fun and going to the clubs and that kind of thing. And then you have your
entertainment district. Yeah.
and then you have your people that are falling all over the sidewalk and not doing so well.
Yeah.
And
Who
yes.
came from the entertainment district.
Sometimes, or
Sometimes.
sometimes they're just homeless people that
Yeah.
have some problems going on and,
That's true.
you know, that kind of thing.
Yeah. And then you have all the market people waiting for the entertainment people to get out
Yeah,
so they can sell to them.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's a very familiar story for anybody who's in a big city or near a big city, I'm sure.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, even any kind of, situation like that. We only had one good nightclub when I was a young adult.
Yeah.
Okay, we had two, but they were so far apart you couldn't tell the difference. But all the downtown things were open late enough so that when people rushed out of that club,
They went right to your shop.
exactly.
Yeah.
So, when I worked at Subway, so everybody the whole, 3 o'clock would roll around and everybody, had finally filed out completely out of the
clubs.
out of the club, and they, managed to stumble their way to the Subway, block away.
Yeah. It's the same kind of thing anywhere you go, I think. Like
Yeah.
any city situation, usually.
And, that's a small town. But, when we went to Moncton, which is a much bigger city by comparison, with a number of clubs in one strip, there were several stores open, restaurants. I mean, all the big, franchise fast food places were open.
Yeah. And people stumbling around.
And people stumbling into them,
Yeah. But
So-
this is good so far. We should finish it.
All right. Yeah.
Odd how it just kind of faded out into city noise.
Yeah. Well, it started off with city noise too, so.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a good, very good song. I like the way it was put together. The saxophone. I wouldn't know if you would call it a solo. It was just kind of
Yeah, it's just a
intermittent
little
between
tiny
lyrics, right?
piece. Yeah. Here and there.
Probably and because they put saxophone players on the street.
Yes.
You had that one guy playing. I think there was another guy underneath, and probably buskers.
And the one with the harmonica as well. Yeah.
And the old man with the harmonica.
Yeah.
With the pan. Actual.
Yes, the
Actual
pot.
pan.
Asking for money that way. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get that kind of thing all the time around Toronto, especially like in the subway areas and stuff like that. A lot of busking going on for sure.
Yeah, I used to go to Yorkdale every once in a while, and there was a little walkway between the mall and the train station.
Yeah, the GO station.
Yeah, and always there was somebody there.
Yeah.
Playing a piano or guitar, hooked up to a little amplifier with their with a box open for people to put money.
Playing a sax, that kind of thing too. You know, I've seen that in the subway areas all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I hadn't spent a whole lot of time. Probably more downtown. You get a lot of in the subway buskers, but right where I was up in Yorkdale, it's north of Toronto.
Yeah. We don't often go out to Toronto very much, even though we're not that far away from it. Just mostly because of the fact that we would have to take a go bus and things like that. And
It gets expensive. Unless we
Yeah.
have really something important to do there, we tend to stay here in Brampton.
yeah, I mean, Brampton's a fairly large city itself, much smaller than Toronto, but it's still big enough.
Yeah.
I think the biggest problem with here is getting entertainment. There isn't
That's true.
enough entertainment in Brampton, especially for the size of it.
Especially for the young, no clubs at all.
Yeah, nothing. It's just, there was when I was young, when I was going to clubs, there was clubs in Brampton, but not as many still as in Toronto or Mississauga.
Yeah. Yeah, nowadays you have to leave the city to have fun if you're a kid. So,
Yeah, it's kind of rough.
yeah, I can't imagine what it'd be like to be a 21, 22-year-old living here.
Yeah, it's a bit difficult unless you drive and, you know, you don't mind. Well, I guess driving's not necessary because if you're living in Toronto, you don't want to be driving there.
Oh, God, no.
You walk or take a streetcar or something because it's too much traffic.
But that's the thing. Toronto
Yeah.
still has that nightlife, right?
Yeah, they have the nightlife, but people will like bus into Toronto.
Yeah.
And then they'll have to figure out how they're getting home, whether they're going to take a bus again to get home or a train, or if they might have to Uber. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? That kind of thing.
But, I mean, when you're young, you have some money,
Yeah, it's fine.
it's fine. You can go there, have a great time.
There's a ton to do in Toronto, just not so much anywhere else around it.
Suppose it's the same with Sydney and, Melbourne, all the
Yeah.
big cities.
Like I said, it really reminds me of any of the really big cities, that kind of stuff that was going on,
Yeah.
the good and the bad.
But, yeah, it was great. It was a good song. Very
Yeah,
fun.
it was pretty fun.
It very much speaks about the city and just walking around on Saturday
Yeah.
night,
So thank you very much for that request. It was obviously appreciated. Please don't forget to check us out over on Patreon. It's $3 a month, and we're adding things there all the time. Also, for those who are interested, we have a P.O. box set up now, and there's the information is in the description of all our videos. There we go. Please like and subscribe to the channel and become one of our Goonies. Share with your family and friends. Click that notification bell if you don't want to miss a video. And don't forget to enjoy yourself. Later.
Later.